Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. I'm going to share with you 3 topics in this latest Moon Lambo hot jam, starting with this one here on your screen from the Crypto Basic. Study finds over 20% of institutional investors hold XRP. So just to be clear here, if you think XRP makes sense and will likely be, continue to be a fixture in the world of crypto, probably for decades to come, if not longer, you're not the only one that thinks that. 20% of institutional investors. And, that's pretty astonishing, because if you think about XRP's current dominance, I actually didn't check right before recording, but recently it was up somewhere around like 1.5% of the entire market. That's all XRP has. It hasn't run yet, so not surprising, but about a 1.5% dominance. And here you have the smart money, the institutional money, 20% of them holding XRP. Well, that's kind of something. There's also this one. I'm actually just going to share this because it made me laugh, but how is this a real headline? I know, if you're looking at the screen, you can already see, like, how is this a headline? Good job, crypto media. Golf clap for you. Anyway, experts say XRP to 1000x, as selling XRP now is, should I say it? R word. I'm just... honestly, like, I have no problem with saying it. I think people that have a problem with the word, just like, chill out. If you're not saying something with hate, it's not a big deal. But I don't know how this platform would respond to that in terms of potential throttling if I do. So I'm just going to say R word. How is this an article, though? No, actually, good points are made, though. So that's part of the reason I also wanted to highlight. And then there's this one, XRP Unleashed, U.S. production company to release a movie about Ripple. Yeah, and so there is a documentary, and it seems like it's about done. Apparently, it's going to be released just a few months from now. And there were rumors that it's going to be on Netflix. But is that true? Not so fast. But before going further, I do want to be clear. I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice. And you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. All right, so into this first piece. Prominent global strategy consulting organization EY Parthenon recently surveyed institutional investor decision makers globally and found that over 20% of them acknowledged investing in XRP. XRP community pundit Wrath of Kahneman highlighted this development in a post on X today. The survey covered 277 institutional investors, including COOs, CEOs, and portfolio managers. The respondents represented wealth managers, family offices, traditional asset managers, hedge funds, and asset owners. The majority of them, at least 147, were from the U.S., Europe made up the next majority, with 90 respondents. Other surveyed institutional investors were from Asia Pacific, APAC, Canada, and Latin America. Notably, EY Parthenon conducted the survey in early March after the SEC approved Bitcoin ETFs. The survey aimed to understand respondents' views on crypto assets, including sentiment, allocations, future expectations, and tokenization perspectives. A third party ensured a fair and balanced response pool. So anyway, I just want to highlight that because I think that's cool as hell and very fascinating. We are not crazy here in the XRP community for thinking that XRP very clearly makes sense. And adoption on top of that keeps on continuing. Ledger after ledger closes, and it just keeps on ticking. It just works. There were less than 700,000 XRP accounts when I jumped into crypto in November 2017. There are now over 5.2 million, and it's been trending up consistently even throughout the SEC v. Ripple lawsuit. All those years, still kept moving to the upside. And there are more people building. It's functionally used in enterprise-grade software today. And we don't think it will continue to do well over the long haul, over a span of decades? Well, I mean, I know I'm preaching to the choir. Yes, we do, for good reason, though. To not have XRP in one's portfolio, if you're the type that wants broad exposure, makes no sense to me. So I'm not telling you specifically, I don't have to go buy or not buy anything. I don't know your position, so it's not financial advice for you. I'm just sharing my thought. Like, if the typical generic person, if you want broad exposure, why the hell would you not have XRP? That makes no functional sense. And so anyway, the institutional level investors here, they get it. And of course they do. Now this one, experts say XRP to 1000x as selling XRP now is R word. I tell you, when I saw this headline, I did a double take. I was like, there's no way it says what in the ever? Let me know. And so anyway, they were sharing perspective from my fellow XRP YouTuber, Alex Kopp. So this is a new article, but they were actually sharing a post from him from July 25th. And he, R word aside, he made a ton of good points. This is in line with what I believe makes sense to report on. I've been sharing as much on my channel. This is a great post here. He says, literally everything is pointing to XRP blasting to all-time high. And he is right. I could not with a straight face say he's wrong. And then he points out, there's 6 bullet points here. He says, number 1, monthly trend line resistance break. 2, XRP BTC pair bottom bounce. And indeed, we have, the bottom was it June 7th? That was over 2 months ago. So I don't know for sure if that's the bottom, and I'm not a chart guy, so I don't predict that stuff, but most of the analysts that I follow are like, that was it. And you've seen such incredible bounces on various metrics since then that I won't be surprised if they're correct. I'll just say that. Because the market always eventually finds a bottom. Then on the way, you get the toxic Bitcoin maxis and XRP haters saying, see, it just keeps dipping lower and lower. But do they really not understand that markets find a bottom and then ultimately reverse? I mean, unless it's actually going to zero, which would make no functional sense, but Anyway, and then he says, number 3, XRP dominance bottom bounce. There's another one. 4, 7-year relative strength index trendline break. Yep, there's another one. I've been reporting on that. He's right. Number 5, upcoming ETF. Yeah, so that one, I think it's ultimately going to happen. I will not be surprised if that's something that's a little bit further off. Maybe we'll get fortunate and it's this year or next year. I don't know, maybe. But I also don't anticipate that would be the most, the most important reason that XRP would be likely to go. I think it'll help to whatever small degree, but in the short term, I don't think it does that much. I think it has a profound impact on XRP price over a span of years and decades, though, because there's more money flowing in that otherwise wouldn't over a span of decades. So yes, of course. But in the short term, nah. I mean, you open the floodgates, but is it a flood? Is it a trickle? We'll see. And then number 6, he says upcoming SEC case resolution, which of course has happened. So a small percentage of the market thinks that mattered in terms of price action, but the market barely moved. It was up like 15%, a little bit. And then it's just irrational exuberance, but it hasn't functionally done. It just doesn't matter. So that one I'd say is probably the least important, but the rest of that, I'm just like, yep. And then there's this, and I had to mention this one, XRP Unleashed, U.S. production company to release a movie about Ripple. Yeah, so not just about Ripple, also about XRP. And I'm absolutely going to watch this. All sorts of names that you've heard of before are in it, including attorney John Deaton. They also have a couple of questionable individuals in here that I think are totally sketch, which I've highlighted before. Not afraid to know, because I think somebody's actually being shady. I'm going to say it. If somebody's in the community that's a snake or acting snake-like, yeah, I'm going to say it. And so there is Jimmy Valley of Val Hill Capital. And Molly, what the hell's her name? Is it Elmore? Anyway, they're the ones that were pushing out these crazy, insane XRP price predictions to try and get stupid people all amped up. And then they were also pushing to basically give up custody of their XRP with promise of some sort of potential, SEC buyback if so-and-so happened. It was a bunch of nonsense I covered at the time. I don't want to get too into the weeds and explain that again. So they had some people who, in my estimation, are among the worst the community has to offer. But then they also have the best, like attorney John Deaton. So is what it is. That said, I'm absolutely still going to watch this. It'll be very curious to see what the general tone of this thing is. But it seems a lot of it is absolutely, and I like this, complaining about the SEC, and rightfully so, for the nonsense attack on all the XRP holders and crypto holders out there. And so there was this post from Fruition Productions, which is putting this thing together. And this is just last night. They wrote the following. We are excited to announce that we are targeting the release of XRP Unleashed for this November. We've taken matters into our own hands and are pursuing self-distribution. This means the documentary will be available on a few platforms like Apple TV and Amazon without their support. Hollywood in general is in free fall, so there is less appetite more than ever on new content that isn't from established providers. This means, just like we've done the whole time, We have to remain self-financed and produce the project without their resistance. And so in watching a couple clips from this now, it looks very well done. It looks, I mean, in terms of just the visuals, it looks like you'd expect a professional documentary to look. As far as the content, I'm optimistic. It should be, I mean, as an XRP holder, I have a hard time fathoming that I won't find it interesting to a certain degree. So we'll have to find out together, you know, what that exactly looks like. But there have been all sorts of rumors that this is going to be on Netflix. Turns out that those are false, and they verified that right here. They wrote, Netflix was a rumor that was never true. Also, there would be many middlemen to get to Netflix that would harm the project on its way to completion. So it would have been cool to see that, because I had heard that rumor too, and I didn't know for sure if it was true. I might have even mentioned that it was a rumor on my channel at some point in the past. Unfortunately, not true, but we'll all still be able to watch it. And I certainly look forward to checking that thing out. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because if anything I say are right, that would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.